edition of MurRiderAthletics.com Coaches Show. I'm Jacob Pumphrey. Joining me this week is the head coach of the cross-country teams here at SAU, Coach Tim Servis. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
First off, let's talk about last week in the Coaches Show. I guess a week ago today, you talked about how you were excited to compete in the UALR Invitational. The course is going to be really fast, and you know it was really fast for you guys. I believe all five of the point scoring runners for the mule riders for the men set personal best, as well as four of the ladies in the top that finished in the top five for you guys also recorded personal best. Give us a little recap of what was working and what you saw out of your runners last weekend in Little Rock.
Well, the weather worked for us, and the course was flat, so I mean it was a lot faster than what we had been running. We've been running a lot of rolling hills, and so when we get a flat course like that, we're able to go run a little bit faster. But we had been doing a lot of speed training and improving. It was a smaller meet, so they could set their eye on a target or another team and chase after them or get ahead of them and know where they're at. At big meets, you kind of get in a big cluster of athletes, and it's you're more focused on just trying to get around people. And that was kind of like what we experienced at Chili Pepper, and even when we went over Southern Missouri or Missouri Southern, it's kind of like that too. We had a very crowded course, and you kind of just have to weave in and weave out of people and strategically try to get a good spot. But with this one, it was more open. We only were up against, I believe, 9 teams, or 9 or 10, and 5 of which were Division I. And so you had a lot of fast runners, and which motivated, I think, our runners to run a little bit quicker to keep up with that top pack. But then also it was good because they could actually see where they're going.
You had a pair of runners in senior Virginia Nye and junior Chris Wallace that they both earned their second Great American Conference Runner of the Week award. Talk a little bit about what you've seen so far from them this season. You know, Chris having a year left, but this being Virginia's last year.
I've seen a lot of improvement. Every year I see improvement out of those two. Well, I see improvement out of both teams. Chris, he improved by 40 seconds from last year, and he dipped in the 24s for the first time in his career, and that's a huge mark for a distance runner. That's where most elite runners run, is the 24s. And of course we have some really elite runners who will be in the 23s. But he was definitely moving and ran 40 seconds faster than last year, and last year he had a PR on that course also. Verge, she ran a little bit faster than last year. She ran about, I believe, around 15 seconds faster than last year, so she improved on the course also, and it kind of gives me a good estimate of where they are now compared to where they were last year. And so it's looking like, we have a lot of improvement team-wide, so that's really comforting to know.
Well, for both teams, they each have 5 meets under their belt, so to speak, and this weekend is when it all counts, kind of what you've been preparing for since the season started with the Lois Davis Invitational, which seems like forever ago, back in the beginning of September.
Yeah.
But this weekend you travel to Monticello, Arkansas for the second time this year. The GAC preview meet was there, I think, about 3 weeks ago. But this time you're running, competing for a conference championship. You're looking for your first conference championship for both the men and the women as a member of the Great American Conference. Talk about a little bit about what you expect there, and as you're chasing your first title, both on the men's and women's side.
Well, I expect to see improvement from when we did the preview meet and improvement from our last meet at Euler. They've been improving all season. I think they're all running at the very best. So that's really what I'm aiming at, is improvement. As a coach, you can't really control what the other teams do in cross country. More you coach your team individually. So I'm not sure what the other teams are going to come out and do. I do know that we're one of the more dominant teams on the field, and I do know that we're going to see a lot of improvement from our team, and I'm hoping there'll be enough improvement to surpass some of the others that have beat us in the past.
Both the mule riders and lady mule riders will travel to Monticello, Arkansas this weekend for the Great American Conference Championship meet. Coach Servis will and his teams will be looking to capture their first titles as members of the Great American Conference. Be sure to check out MuleRiderAthletics.com for all race recaps and other news regarding the Mule Rider and Lady Mule Rider cross country teams as they begin their postseason meets. Thanks, Coach. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.